Bonjour tout le monde, comment allez-vous? Ça va bien? Oui? J'espère que oui. Aujourd'hui, j'ai fait la vidéo de la semaine 5, la 5e semaine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Donc voilà, bienvenue. Et aujourd'hui, nous allons étudier des verbes qui prennent l'auxiliaire, ou le verbe auxiliaire, être au passé composé. So we started looking at this last week. Verbs that take être in the past tense, the passé composé. So it's one of the past tenses. So we looked at the verb aller. I had to think then which verb we looked at. Aller, which means to go. So when you say I went, which is from the verb to go, in French you would use the verb aller, and you, instead of saying j'ai allé, no, you don't use I have plus the past participle, you use je suis. Je suis. Okay, so je suis plus the past participle. Oh, c'est ça. Je suis, and then because there's an S before an A, we say je suis allé. Je suis allé. Il y a un autre E à la fin ici. Ça, c'est parce que moi, je suis une fille ou une femme. Je suis allée au supermarché, je suis allée à la campagne, je suis allée à la plage, je suis allée à l'école, etc. Je suis allée. Toujours, je suis allée. I went. So get that into your head. And that sounds the same whether you're a boy or a girl. Je suis allée. Okay? So we're going to see more of this kind of thing. So we're actually going to see quite a lot. I think there's 17 verbs in total. So if you were in my course on Wednesday this week, you will have on page 2 du document, page 2 of your handout, the document, you'll have a list of verbs, and we're going to go through these verbs now so that I can introduce them to the people who weren't on the course. Let me just move that over there, and let me make sure I can see the monitor if I need to. So, on va regarder ici. Ici, excusez-moi, it's a bit cramped in here today. Je fais comme ça, ça je bouge, ça comme ça, et puis un peu plus près. Ouais, oh non. Oh, lost the controls. Ah oui, voilà. T'inquiète pas, ne vous inquiétez pas, no, don't worry. I've sorted it now. Okay, so we're going to start off with, let's start about here then. So, devenir. Maybe I have to go out a little bit. Voilà, devenir. Devenir. What does this mean, devenir? This means to become. So, we need to look at what the past participle of devenir is. So, it is de. Well, there's the verb venir there. So, venir on its own is to come. Devenir, to become. So, venu. So this is a little irregular. Instead of this IR changing to an I, as you might expect, so the verb finir becomes fini, or partir becomes parti. This one is actually a bit different. It's irregular in its past participle. Venu instead of devenu. Okay? Devenu, so became. Then we've got a similar looking verb, revenir, okay. Venir, again, is in there, so that's to come, venir. Revenir, when you see re at the beginning of a verb in French, it means to come back or to come again. So, to come back, let's say. And just like this, revenu. Revenu is the past participle. Now, the versions that I'm going to put here are the masculine past participles. Remember that because we use être with these verbs, all the verbs we're looking at today, whenever we use a verb that has être as the auxiliary, then the main verb, which is to go or to become, I went, I came, I left, I arrived, these kind of verbs of movement, when you use them, the past participle agrees with the gender of whoever the subject of the sentence is. So if I'm saying I went, I'm talking about myself, I'm a girl. My gender, well, I'm a female, so that past participle has an extra E. So all of these can have an extra E at the end if they're talking about a woman or women. And if they're in the plural, they'll have an S on the end. Okay, so we'll see that later, but all of these are just going to be like the masculine default version. So, devenu, revenu. Okay, the next one here, we've got mourir, mourir. So that's an IR verb, but again, it's got an irregular past participle. This means to die, okay, or to pass away. So, past participle. And the masculine version is mort. For example, je suis mort. A man would say if I died. Doesn't really make much sense when you say it in the je, or il est mort, he died. In the feminine form, that would have an E at the end, and it would be pronounced morte. You pronounce that T with the E following it. So we'll have a look at that in a moment. So, devenir, revenir, mourir, retourner. Retourner. Now that's a nice ER verb. Okay, so this is a regular past participle. Retourner. Comme ça. E accent aigu. E with an acute accent. So that one you could probably guess. Okay, what's next on my list? Ah oui. Sortir. Useful verb this. That means to go out. To go out on the town. To go out to dance, to go out drinking, to go out in the evening, basically to go out of your house or to not be inside. Ah, il y a des oiseaux qui chantent dehors. That's very nice. The birds have gone out this evening to sing. They're out and about. Les oiseaux sont sortis. They have gone out. Ils sont sortis. Les oiseaux. They've gone out. So, sortir, sortir, in its past participle becomes sorti. Okay? Par exemple, je suis sorti. I went out. Except if I were to say it, it would have a little E on the end. But you wouldn't see it when it's spoken, you just see it when it's written. Okay, now we've got the verb venir. So we've already seen devenir and revenir. Now we've got venir. So to come, sorry, to become, to come back. Now that one's just to come, which is venu. Okay, perfect. There's a reason I'm doing it in a certain order, and we'll go on to that in a sec. The next one is arriver. Nice ER verb. The past participle is with an acute accent. So arriver in the infinitive actually sounds exactly like arriver, le participe passé, the past participle. Okay, I'm going to zoom in a little bit there and maybe move the camera so it's got all of them in there. Okay, the next one is naître, naître. Ooh, that's a little sort of circumflex over the I. That means to be born. So if someone was saying I was born in Wales, or I was born 30 years ago, and the rest, then you would say je suis né. Je suis né. Feminine form would have an extra E. Ok, on va continuer. Descendre. Descendre. Well, you could probably guess that because it looks very like the English word to descend, which means to go down. To go down some stairs, to go down a slope, down a mountain, down into a basement, etc. To go down. So, descendu. So, that's a nice sort of regular past participle for an RE verb. Think of fondre, which becomes fondu. Vendre, which becomes vendu. Okay, to melt, fondre, fondu, melted or molten, like the fondue dish, cheese. Vendre becomes vendu, like a house for sale becomes a sold house. You've got the sign outside, vendu. Okay, that means sold. So that's quite similar. Ah oui, entrer. Entrer. So that means come in, or to go in, or to enter. Okay, so I went in the house. Je suis entré. I went in, I went inside. So that's a nice ER verb. Entrer becomes entrée, which sounds the same but is written like that. Okay. Okay, now the next one looks very similar. It's the same verb actually, entrer, but it's got an R in front of the stem, so it becomes rentrer. Yeah, very similar. But there's a slight difference in meaning. So to come back inside or to go back inside. So there's a sense of doing something again. Okay? And the past participle is as above but with an R. Rentrer. Comme ça. Oui. Donc nous avons devenir, revenir, mourir, retourner, sortir, venir, arriver. Excusez-moi, arriver, naître, descendre, entrer, rentrer. Oh, entrer et rentrer. So, il y a quoi d'autre? What else is there? Ah oui, il y a aussi tomber. Oh, je suis tombée hier. J'ai fait du ski et je suis tombée. So, if I was skiing, this is something I would do a lot. Tomber, fall. Parce que je suis nulle on ski. I'm very bad at skiing. It's not something I like doing. Leave it to the people who can do it well. It's an ER verb and it becomes tomber, le participe passé. Ok, oui, nous avons alors, oui, rester. So rester doesn't actually mean to rest, as in like, resting, peaceful. No, it means moreover to stay somewhere. As in to remain there or to stay, like to stay the night somewhere, or to stay in a hotel, for example. Rester, comme ça. Oh, excusez-moi, non, pas comme ça, non, pas comme ça. Comme ça, oui. So, let's have a look at the next one. Ah, we know this. Aller. Aller. Aller means to go. We saw this last week, I believe. And in the past, well, the past participle looks like that. In the masculine, remember, the feminine will have an extra E, it'll have an S if it's in the plural, talking about vous, or nous, or il, elle, etc. Right, we're getting down to the bottom of the board now. Let's see if we'll make it. Oui. Okay, so I've spotted on the handout there's an error that I need to correct. In fact, I've done that. Before I'll send it to you, the PDF you'll get will not have this in it. So it should be the verb monter. Monter as in sort of like mountain. Think mountain. So in your sheet it actually says montrer, which is a different thing. Monter, M-O-N-T-E-R. Il n'y a pas de R ici. There's no R after the T. The verb montrer means to show, as in let me show you my new phone. Okay, so excusez-moi, je suis désolée, il y a une erreur là, et moi je vais changer. Donc oui, monter means to go up, like, or to climb. So for example, je suis monté la montagne. Yeah, I climbed the mountain. I went up. So that becomes monter, comme ça. Okay? Now, let's have a look at the last. Il nous reste deux. Oui, il nous reste deux verbes ici. Donc, partir. Partir. What does that mean, partir? So, you could use it talking about, say, le train est parti. Okay, so in English you could translate that two ways. The train departed. Okay, or you could say le train, excuse-moi, you could say the train left. Okay, like it left the station. Il est déjà parti. Oh, il est déjà parti. Quel dommage. It has already left. It has left. So, partir, oh, parti comme ça means left or departed. And the last one, this can lead to a bit of confusion. Passé. Passé. So, let's see. Passé. Ah oui. So, if I were to pass by something, like to pass something actually, like to walk past, I would say je suis passé. Par exemple, je suis passé par la fenêtre. I passed by the window, like I went past. Okay, So to go past something, basically. Or it can mean to stop by somewhere, like to pass by, as in like pop your head in and say hello and pick up some stuff, or buy something somewhere and go on to the next place. So passé in the past, or the past participle, is passé with an E accent. So at some point, probably later on, you'll be able to differentiate a little bit better between passé as in to pass by something, and passé, which is the same verb, which means to, like for example, j'ai passé le stylo à Marie. Okay, I have passed the pen. I picked it up and I gave it to Marie. J'ai passé le stylo à elle. I have passed it to her. So there's a slight different meaning with that verb when you use it in terms of to pass something to someone. You use the verb avoir. J'ai passé. When it's to pass by, je suis passé par la fenêtre. Bizarre, non? Actually quite clever to differentiate between the meanings of the fine meanings between the same verb by using the auxiliary. Can't do that in English. Okay, what are we going to do now? We are going to look at some sentences. So, for the people who are in my class, lucky you, I'm going to give you some answers to a piece of your homework. So if you've already done this, tant pis, too bad. If you haven't done it yet, this will save you a little bit of time, or it might help at least. So, here's one I prepared earlier, as they say. Let's see if you can read this. I might have to zoom in. Oh oui, voilà, I have to keep an eye on this. Right, where's my green pen? C'est où le stylo vert? Ah, voilà. C'est là, oui. Okay, so I'm going to be without my head for a minute. You're just going to see my arm, so excuse me. Devenir. Okay, so that means to become. And here is the sentence, which is on page, so this is page 2, exercice 5, page 2, exercice 5, lettre A, exercice A. So we, or you, have to translate I became. So that's in the past tense using the verb devenir. And this is how you do it. Je suis devenu. So, for example, I became fat, I got fat. Je suis devenu gros, if I was a man. Now, because I'm a lady, I would actually add an E here. Je suis devenu, and then the word afterwards would have to be in the feminine form. Je suis devenu grosse. Oh, I've got fat, I got fat, I became fat, for example. Now let me move this down so I can actually see the monitor. I'm still here. Revenir, so that means to come back. So you have to translate we came back. So this is how you do it. Remember, every time you're going to see part of the verb être. And here it is there, the auxiliary verb. Nous sommes revenus. Nous sommes revenus. We came back. As you can see on here, the past participle has an S on the end. Otherwise it would be written like this, revenu. If it was me saying I came back, je suis revenu with an E. But it's talking about a group that contains men. So it sort of defaults to the masculine without an E, and it's got an S on the end because it's talking about we. You'll get used to this. So let's have a look. He or she died. So that's the verb to die, mourir. Il est mort, comme ça. Elle est morte, avec E à la fin. Let me just show you my face so you don't miss me for too long. Okay, let's go back up there. Retourner. Okay, retourner. Oh, excusez-moi, regardez ça. Ça c'est pas bien, ce n'est pas le bon mot. What's wrong here? We've got this verb there. C'est une autre erreur. It's another error. Okay, so let's go like this. That was lucky I noticed that, so let's have a look. Je suis retourné. Okay, so if I was a chap, I'd be saying it, or I'd be writing it like this. Je suis retourné, but I'm a lady, so I'm going to make it the feminine. Je suis retourné avec un E supplémentaire à la fin. Je suis sorti. So that means to go out, as in to go out for the night. Je suis sortie avec eux parce que je suis femelle. Ok, venir. Let's see what we've got for venir. This is F, exercise F. What was the name of that verb? What was the verb in English? Do you remember? Let me just reorder my office a little bit. Venir, to come. Yeah. So, they came. Ils sont venus, comme ça. Or elles sont venues, comme ça. V-E-N-U-E-S agrees with elle. Arrivé. So we had this, oh no, we had je suis allé. Je suis arrivé is I arrived. Je suis arrivé, if you're a lady. Okay, let's have a look. Je suis né. That would be I was born, if you're a boy, or with an extra E. Je suis né. So they sound exactly the same. Par exemple, je suis né en Angleterre. Oui, c'est vrai. Mais mon mari, il est né... Oh oui, il est aussi né en Angleterre, excusez-moi. Ma mère, elle est née au Pays de Galles. Ok? Il est né, elle est née. Nous sommes nés au Pays de Galles. Nous sommes nés en Angleterre. We were born, etc. Ok, descendre. Let's have a look what I asked you to write for descendre. They went down. Okay, so for example, they went down the mountain. Okay. Ils sont descendus ou elles sont descendues avec un E. So remember that in French there isn't just one way of saying they, like referring to a group of people. You either refer to ils, like they or them, or elles, they or them. So elle is talking about a group of females, or it could be talking about a group of feminine nouns. That sounds weird, right? But for example, les stylos. Les stylos. J'en ai plusieurs. I've got lots of them, okay? So if I'm talking about these, they are, what are they? Expensive, right? So they are quite expensive, these. Ils sont chers. Ils sont chers. Les stylos. So when you, instead of saying they, you're basically saying they, that group of masculine things. What have I got around here that's feminine? Let's have a look. Plusieurs choses féminines or féminines. I can't find anything feminine I can pick up and show you. Les pommes. Apples. If I'm talking about apples are expensive, I would say elles sont chères. Les pommes, elles sont chères. They. It sounds like I'm saying the girls or she. Elles sont, like those feminine things. So, you know, you need to be aware of the gender of what you're talking about, whether it's people, which is most often the case, or things. Remember, because nouns, all things have a gender in French. Okay, let's move on to entrer. So, il est, now, il est, and then entrer. What you might hear is a liaison. Il est entré, il est entré. As if that T is here, you pronounce it in front of the E. Il est entré, il est entré. Helps you understand, or it just helps to enunciate the T, the E after the T. So that happens in French. It would be the same if you said she entered or she went in. Elle est entrée. Okay, rentrée. Elle est rentrée. So here you don't pronounce the T because it isn't followed by a vowel. So there are exceptions to that, but just in case you hear something pronounced and you think, why is that? It's just a pronunciation thing to make it easier to hear and understand, and it's called a liaison. Okay, so rentrer means to come back in. So she went back inside. She went back in. Elle est rentrée dans la maison, par exemple. Okay, tomber. What was tomber? Tomber. tomber. Ooh. Okay, well actually that's to drop, but if I were to fall, I would say je suis tombé. Je suis tombé avec eux, comme ça. I fell. Rester, ok. La dernière fois que je suis allée en France, je suis restée dans un hôtel. Un hôtel à la plage. Oui, c'est vrai. Je suis restée. I stayed. Here we've got we stayed. Nous sommes restés. Okay, it's got an extra, and it's got an S at the end because it's plural. What if we stayed in a hotel and we were all girls? There were no boys there. Well, this is what would happen then. So it sounds exactly the same. Nous sommes restés. Nous sommes restés à l'hôtel, or dans un hôtel. But in the written form, rester is spelt like that. So you put an extra E after the final accent one, and that agrees with the gender of the group, the people you're talking about, the subject. And then you add an S because it's plural. Nous is always going to be plural. Just inherently, because we're talking about more than just myself, it becomes we. Okay, aller. Let's have a look at aller. Oh, crikey, 26 minutes. Oh la la. Aller. Okay, so we've got vous êtes allé here. Now, the thing about vous is it can mean one person, like I could be addressing vous, like you, one person, or I could be addressing vous tous, all of you. So it can be singular or plural. So looking at this, I can see that it's plural because it's got an S at the end. Vous êtes allé, you went. If I wanted to ask where did you go, where did you all go last week? Where did you go last week? Vous êtes allé où la semaine dernière? I nearly said next week. Vous êtes allé où la semaine dernière? Where did you go? Vous êtes allé où? So you could just put où at the end. You went where? Where did you go? Okay, so if it were a singular, you went, just one of you, but I'm using the polite form, then it would look like that. But it sounds exactly the same. So with or without, fine. Okay, monter, monter. This is the opposite of descendre. Je suis monté les escaliers. Je suis monté la montagne, etc. It can mean to climb. Think mountain or mountaineer. Well, there's loads of other words that have mont in it. I can't think of any at the moment, but to go up. To mount, like thinking of mounting a horse. So think of mounting a horse, so you climb up onto it. Je suis monté, or je suis monté with an extra E. I went up something, a slope, a hill, etc. Vous êtes parti. Now look at that one. Can you see that one there? I hope you can. Vous êtes parti, that is in the singular. Vous êtes parti. I know that by looking at it because there's no S on the end. So I know that vous êtes parti is a polite address for one person. Vous êtes parti à quelle heure hier? Vous êtes parti à quelle heure hier? At what time did you leave yesterday? Partir means to leave, and the past participle is parti. Add an S if it's plural. Add an E. Excuse me. Add an E if it's a female, one person. Add an S if it's you girls, plural. All of these sound the same. So the main thing is that you remember partir becomes parti. And lastly, enfin, vous êtes passé. Vous êtes passé par la fenêtre. You passed by the window. Vous êtes passé. Au pluriel. E, accent S. So, there's a lot to take in there. Now, what was the point of putting it in that order? So, I said there was an order to it, and well, I shall show you this, and you'll be able to find this basically anywhere on the internet. So, these are put in a certain order because they spell out a little sort of phrase which is meant to help you remember all of these verbs. So, the phrase is Dr and Mrs Vandertrampp. I am going to write that down for you so you can see what on earth I'm talking about. Dr. Let's put a little and sign. Mrs. Vandertrampp. Someone came up with this, it wasn't me, but I think it's quite useful. It can help, especially if you're doing like an exam or something. So, Dr. and Mrs. Vandertrampp refers to all of these verbs in a certain order. So this is like a little mnemonic, kind of a way to remember which verbs take être. So, D stands for devenir, to become. A stands for revenir, to return, to come back. Yeah, to come back. M stands for mourir. A stands for retourner, to return. S stands for sortir, to go out. V stands for venir, to come. A, I have to look at this, but I can't remember all of these, so I have to look for prompts. A stands for arriver, to arrive. N stands for naître, to be born. D stands for descendre, to go down or to descend. E stands for entrer. R stands for rentrer, to come back in, or to enter again, to go in again. Tomber, to fall. R stands for rester, to stay. A stands for aller, to go. M stands for monter, which is to go up or to climb up. P stands for partir, and lastly P or P stands for passer, as to pass by something or to go past. Oh, that was a lot of stuff, wasn't it? But I tell you what, hopefully something in there will be useful. You can always go online and check Dr. and Mrs Vandertrampp. Comme ça. It'll pop up and you can look at examples of sentences using these verbs. But they will all have être as the auxiliary verb. Okay, at least in where they can either have avoir or être. Some verbs like passer or retourner, you can use them with avoir, but the meaning changes slightly. You don't have to worry about that for now. Just knowing this, watching this video, and knowing that they are some of the verbs that take être as the auxiliary will be super helpful to you, especially if you keep studying. Okay, so merci beaucoup. Bonne soirée, bon week-end et à la prochaine fois, la semaine prochaine. Merci, au revoir.